Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today is going to be a very interesting episode because I'm going to be interviewing the wife of legendary creature makeup artist and horror movie screenwriter Ken Hall. And I'm going to be interviewing his wife, Amanda Duchow-Hall. She is the daughter of Peter Duchow, who produced the James Gardner, James Woods TV movies of the week back in the 80s, Promise, and My Name is Bill W. And she's had an amazing life, an amazing journey. She knows me for some reason. I don't know why. I was at Son of Monsterpalooza last September in Burbank. I was at Linnea Quigley's table, and Linnea said Amanda Hall knows you, and I was like, who's Amanda Hall? And then Amanda happened to be walking by, and she's like, hey Amanda, and then I'm like, refresh my memory, and I can't remember what she said exactly, but she knew me for some reason, which I thought was strange because who is this big beautiful woman that knows me? You know, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out today, and I can't wait to hear about her backstory and her journey again. It's so amazing. It's very comparable to mine. I'm really looking forward to talking to Amanda today on the show. And so, yeah, here's my interview with Amanda Duchow-Hall, and she should be calling me any moment now. Hi, Amanda.
Hey, Tommy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
This has been a pretty devastating day for me. Um, Found out a couple hours ago my aunt died this morning.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad. It was just random, very sudden. She was pretty healthy, and she had an aneurysm and collapsed yesterday.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Uh,
That's awful.
oh, it's okay though. I smoked some marijuana, so I'm a little calmed down.
Well, I understand it. Am I being recorded right now?
Yes, you are.
Well, I found out someone I went to high school with murdered a woman and burned her body in Shasta County a few days ago.
Oh my God, I live in Shasta County.
Yeah. Did you hear about that?
No, I haven't watched the news for a couple days.
It's been all over the news. It's not somebody that I care for or like or that I'm friendly with, but
Hmm.
yeah, I was shocked and stunned.
Oh my God, that's creepy. Whew.
It's all over your news, your local news.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyways, we can avoid that.
Yeah. Wow. God, I'll tell you something. Certain people I went to school with, they've done really petty things, but nothing on the level of that, I'll say.
I'm shocked. I mean, he did something really crappy to me right after I graduated high school and a friend of mine, so I've never cared for him.
Yeah.
But he's friends with some of my closest friends from school. So to find out that like this happened and he was just recently, just a few months ago, in my friend's home around his children and his wife, it's like it's terrifying,
Yeah.
you know?
That's like right out of
I
his.
was this person from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
So it just I'm just shocked. I'm not surprised, but I'm shocked at the same time, you know?
Right.
So anyways, enough about that. I'm so sorry about your aunt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It was just random. It was just out of nowhere, and she's in a better place now. I mean, she was always miserable, but always like making the best out of life. But now she's in a better place.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's well, you're yeah, the thing you were just telling me. That's like right out of a Stephen King book.
Well, yeah, you should go online and look it up. I'll send you the link.
Oh, that'd be
I don't
great.
want to say his name, but I'll send you the link.
Yeah, you don't want to make him more famous than he's probably gonna be.
I don't want him knowing that I was talking about him.
Yeah, because he could get away. He could get away, and you could be next.
Exactly.
Oh boy. So for my listeners out there, so last year I was at Son of Monsterpalooza in Burbank, and I went to Linnea Quigley, and she was interviewing me for her documentary that weekend, and she forgot who I was at first because she does so many interviews over the phone and stuff, and I said Tommy Kovac, and she's like, you know Amanda Hall, right? And I'm like, no. And you were there over by Ken next door. And I was like, refresh my memory or something like that to you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I meet so many people. I can't remember how we might have ever introduced or who it was from, but you were very familiar to me. So, you know, it's just with a husband like Ken, he knows everybody everywhere. So it always winds up that I wind up meeting people and remembering people all the time.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't met Ken yet, but I think it's possible. You may have seen my name on Facebook because I interviewed Deborah Lamb.
Totally possible. I love Deborah Lamb.
Me too. Oh God, we did a second interview a couple months ago. It got a lot of notice because we spent like 80 minutes talking about masturbation.
That's Deborah Lamb.
Well, I initiated it, so yeah.
That's Deborah. I just saw her at the Ethereum Film Festival, which is a great women in genre film, short film festival here in LA,
Yeah.
getting them every summer. So it was good to see her. Now she's in Europe. But I think she's going to be back soon. When she gets back, we're going to do a photo shoot.
Well, that's good. Yeah, she moved out of the Bay Area a couple of months after I did, which is quite funny. I didn't even know she was in the Bay Area when I left.
She's here now. Now I get to see her more because she's in my area.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I hope to. Well, I hope to be out there with you all next year. I'm keeping my fingers and my toes crossed.
absolutely. Son of Monsterpalooza is coming up in just a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm gonna have to miss both of them this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it's just with conventions sometimes to just for a while and then come back to it because it'll have a little bit more change. I think a lot of times conventions can be, repetitive. So I think it's good to skip from time to time. I just went to Midsummer Scream though, which I really, really enjoyed. That was a fun one. It's
Uh,
still Halloween based, but it was fun.
yeah, I want to go to that one badly. I haven't been to that one. I want to go to that one and Scare LA and a couple others out there that I've heard about.
LA is happening this weekend, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going.
Oh, yeah. We have a couple in Sacramento this year. That one I went to in June and one I'm going to in October. So those are my substitute Monster Paloozas this year. But I'll definitely be at the Pasadena one next spring.
Awesome. I can't wait to see you in person.
Yep, that'd be awesome. So you're the daughter of TV producer Peter Duchow and
So,
Duchow, yeah,
yeah.
and the wife of one of my heroes, Ken Hall. And I watched the episode of Starting Over that you did with Monique Parent, and that I was so moved by your backstory because it was very comparable to my own in so many ways. I mean, I'm only 12 years younger than you, and I feel like I've lived the life of a 100-year-old.
I feel that way sometimes too, but thankfully I try to keep, it's like in our lives when we go through bad and tough stuff, it seems, I mean, I never thought, I took care of my dad for almost 4 years when he was not well and getting ready to leave,
Right.
as I put it, and I didn't think I'd ever climb out of that hole. So now to be, to get married, at 45 years old and to be starting my life completely over from scratch, surrounded by wonderful people, is a gift that I don't think I would have ever been able to understand if I hadn't been through the dark times. So I try to keep in mind
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm very resilient and just very confident in my abilities. I've always been that way in terms of just brushing things off and going about my day because I've been through a lot of darkness and stuff, which I'll tell you about in a bit. But I wanted to go back to the beginning. I mean, when were you aware that you had show business family surroundings?
Well, I was born into it, so,
Yeah.
and I grew up in LA, and I went to, an exclusive private grammar school, and it was just always there. Like, to me, it was just, I thought it was, I thought that, knowing famous people and getting to do really cool things, I thought that was just the way everybody lived. Like, I didn't know any different.
Hmm.
But I didn't really know. My mother is, she's retired now, but my mother's one of the longest working script supervisors in television comedies. And
Hmm.
my stepfather is an incredible man. He created a lot of really well-known sports entertainment shows. He was the photographer that shot the poster for The Endless Summer.
Oh.
So I was I was probably a huge influence on my photography now because I grew up around all of his cameras and photos and all that kind of stuff. And, Saturday afternoons going to the camera store and, stuff like that. So I think I didn't really realize it, I don't think, until later. So I was around like 10 or 11 that my life had been very unique.
Hmm.
And I resisted going into the entertainment industry until I was almost 40 years old. Even though I was around it, and it was things like when regular kids would say, to their parents, I want to go to Girl Scout camp in Catalina this summer, and regular parents would say, I don't know if regular is the right way to say it, but other parents would say, well, we have to see how things are going with work and whatever. My mother would say, well, we need to keep an eye on the ratings because we need to know if I have a show to go back to in the fall.
Right.
So, when other kids were learning math different ways, I was learning math by, reading the ratings in the newspaper. So I learned about punctuation and all that stuff from reading my mom's script. So it was a little different, but I didn't realize it for a really long time.
Hmm. Wow. Yeah.
And before my dad was a producer, he was an agent. So I really wasn't aware of what he did. Now I know, like it was like just like a normal day. He'd pick me up and we'd go to the math set. It's just
Yeah.
so it was just always there, I guess.
Did your dad do anything else besides produce TV? Because on IMDb, his filmography is very limited.
His filmography is very limited because he didn't. I can't tell you an exact age because my mother and my father divorced before I was a year old. Um, but he was a literary agent for years.
Uh.
And before he was an agent, he worked for Universal. Before it was Universal, I believe it was called Five Star. I could be wrong about that in
Hmm.
packaging. And before that, he was a record guy, and he worked for Capitol Records in their classical music division in France. So he did, and before that, he was in the war, in World War II. So
Right.
he wore a lot of different hats. More than that, but those are the things that I remember.
Hmm.
He was definitely a Hollywood guy.
Yeah. I love the two he did with James Gardner and James Woods, Promise, and My Name Is Bill W. Those are two just very well acted, tear jerking films. And James Woods, he deserved the two Emmys he got for those.
Well, James Garner and my father were producing partners
Hmm.
for Warner Brothers, so they had a company together. They also did some lesser known films, and I don't know which ones Jim did and which ones he didn't. My dad did a movie with for how great Bill W. is and how great Promise is, and they're wonderful. Promise was
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's not, for him, there couldn't have been a better mark that was left. But then he could go out and he could make a movie, at the height of 90210 fame, he made a movie with Shannon Doherty about a woman who was stalking an older man. I mean, and that's a very trashy film, but I happen to love it. It's on YouTube if anyone wants to watch it. It's called Obsessed.
What's it called?
Anyone? It's called Obsessed, not to be confused with the Beyonce movie that came later. And he also made another fantastic movie called Finding a Way Home that starred George C. Scott.
Oh.
About a man who lives in Texas and gets in a car accident and has amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
And winds up not remembering anything and living in a border town, and it's completely different. And then he has to make the decision when his family finally finds him, whether he wants to give up his new way of life where he's truly happy, where he wasn't so happy before. He has to make the decision what's the right thing to do. And he's fallen in love with another woman, and so he made really interesting choices, and he did not become a producer until much later. He must have been at least 60 before he started producing film.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's never too late. Well, in those days, at least. Now Hollywood's like, oh, you're 36 years old. You're too old.
Well, I think that growing up here and growing up around this industry and being in the industry now, I mean, I didn't really start in the industry, even though it was all around me until I was almost 40, like I said. So
Mm-hmm.
being in the industry now, I see such a difference, and it always strikes me that, when my dad was making movies for Hallmark, which I still love everybody at Hallmark, they were very supportive of me when my father was very, very sick and very good to me and very kind, but the Hallmark films that my dad made
Mm-hmm.
were theater quality, big budget feature films. And those were movies where families, it sounds so 1950s, but it wasn't. It was the 80s and the 90s. Families sat around the TV and watched the movie together on a Sunday night. Now you have to compete with YouTube, and you have to compete with the internet, and you got to compete with the cell phone and the Facebook and the Instagram and Twitter and the 24-hour news cycle. And I don't think that people, as they're growing up in this age, have the attention span
Mm-hmm.
that they did. Because if you look at films now, they're very quick and flashy, and things are explained and laid out to you a little bit more than sometimes they used to be. And Hallmark, I love them dearly, but they're not making those quality films anymore. They're
No.
making A Husband for Christmas. It's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
I see the difference.
Yeah, they're making fluff pieces now, just for making money and entertainment value. They're not making anything meaningful like your father did, And it started in the 70s. Aaron Spelling and Leonard Goldberg, they would do these, like, these TV movie of the week, about based on true stories or based on or just fluff stuff, and everything. But your father, well, with Hallmark, he kind of reinvented it.
Well, I don't know that he reinvented it. I think he went back to the tradition that they had because, there's some very classic movies that were Hallmark films that you would never think, were Hallmark films. And they did some remakes, and I believe they did a remake of Mr. Rogers. Or not Mr. Rogers, I'm sorry, Mr. Roberts.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And I don't want to take away from stuff like Aaron Spelling and Leonard Goldberg because I can give you a list of TV movies that are completely trashy that I have digitized that I enjoy on a Sunday afternoon with a little bit of a hangover more than anything else in the world. So they have their place. I mean, for anyone that's interested in those kinds of films, you need to immediately go find yourself a copy of Texas Justice with Peter Strauss and Heather Locklear and Linda Hart because it will delight you to no end.
Yeah.
But, they have their place. But my dad wanted to make statements. He wanted to make people think about things and central moments in your life where you have to make the big decision. And that's something I never really got about
Yeah.
you know, and every once in a while I will get a random message on Facebook or Instagram, or somebody has tracked me down, and there's somebody that went into recovery because they saw that movie. And, that's an amazing thing. And I'm very fortunate to have been around that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Learned from that.
Yeah, I'm coming off of alcoholism and stuff. I had a really bad car accident a couple years ago. I spent 30 days in a coma.
That's terrible, but I'm glad you're all right.
Yes, and I haven't needed AA because when you get hit by a car and you find out your liver is damaged and that if you have alcohol your liver will bleed, you don't need AA. That's a 13-step recovery right there. You know.
It's true, and I have a lot of friends that are sober that haven't gone through AA. I don't think that it's the only way to go. I am not in AA. I'm not affiliated with AA, but I believe that exactly like it says, it's there for anybody who ever needs it. It's not like it's not like some treatment program you see advertised on television. Come here and do yoga. It's there, and it's a daily battle, and those people really rely on each other and find great strength in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's wonderful, but I don't think everybody needs it. But I think it's a wonderful thing to have in your life, and I think all the things that have come out of it, it's not just AA, you have NA, you have Overeaters Anonymous, you have all these things, and there's so many different ways to benefit,
Mm-hmm.
and so many lessons to be learned through it. And I have many friends that haven't done it, and many friends who have done it, and still continue. I know someone that hasn't had a drink in, I think she told me recently, 22 years, and she still goes to meetings every week.
Wow.
So, it's a wonderful tool.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not offensive to anyone in AA, because I have the utmost respect for it, but I don't have their language locked down as well as I should. I haven't looked at the big book in quite some time.
Yeah, she's dedicated. Wow. So what did you want to do at an early age?
Well, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was very scattered for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I started to get focused and really think about things, I wanted to be a writer, which I'm not particularly good at. Some of my friends would say that's not true, but writing a funny Facebook post is a little bit different than writing a screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to be a writer, and then I went to school for journalism, and I always wanted to be a reporter. I wanted to be a hardened news reporter, like Audrey Underwood was for
Mm-hmm.
back in the day when she was covering the Black Dahlia and all those murders and things. That was the kind of thing that I thought I wanted to do. And when I got done with school, and I had been the editor-in-chief of my college newspaper and done other things, my 20s came about, and everyday life of the drama of social life kind of took me over. And I
Mm-hmm.
went in several different directions, but then in the end, when my father was sick, and I was caring for him in my late 30s, he lived at the beach, but I couldn't often leave the house to enjoy the beach, except to walk the dogs, because I couldn't leave him alone in the house. So I had a digital camera. It's a little point and shoot digital camera, and I went out and started taking pictures and posting the pictures in my room on the wall, so that I could see the beach, even though I couldn't be on the beach. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got really, really into it, and I went to lynda.com, and I started taking photography classes online, and then just kind of pursued nature photography, which wasn't really my thing, but it was what I had available to me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when my father passed away, and I started dating my husband, who I had known for almost 20 years before I started dating him,
Mm-hmm.
and when I moved in with him, an opportunity presented itself for me to work on a low-budget film doing behind-the-scenes still photography.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 days on that set, and I have found my calling and fell madly in love with it. And I'm very, very blessed that I ever found it.
Oh, that's
I
great.
absolutely love it.
That's great. That reminds me of John Travolta's brother Joey. He teaches acting to mentally handicapped children, and I saw an interview he did recently where he talked about it, and he said his biggest regret was never doing this. Like when he was young, he wished he had done this instead of acting. And his wife told him, she said, "You weren't ready yet. This happened at the right time."
I absolutely 100% agree with that, because as much as I've thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the thing that I get complimented on the most is not necessarily my technical style, but people love my quote unquote eye, and I believe that I have a certain technique when I take pictures of, I make it a rule that I never crop a photo after I've shot it, that I crop everything with my eye in the camera, and I don't use, a digital screen when I'm shooting. I'm looking through the viewfinder, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the way I shoot, and I believe that I wouldn't have the same eye if I hadn't run around like a lunatic for so many years and had so many crazy experiences before I finally focused in on what I wanted to do. And he probably wouldn't be as good of an acting teacher as he is if he hadn't had those other experiences to bring into it. It's kind of like a stew. You can cook a stew in 3 hours if you really need to, but it's much better if you let it simmer for a day.
Right.
For all the flavors combined. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. What the whole thing with me in my backstory is, I came from a middle class family. We were upper middle class for about 5 or 6 years when my mom, she won a lawsuit. Um, she sued her boss, who was a chauvinist, and she got a couple $100,000 out of it. We lived like kings for a while. And around 1993, my dad had to have neck surgery, and when he came out of it, he became a Vicodin addict, and with that, and my mom losing $100,000 to the stock market, my mom had to work double overtime for the next decade, and her and my dad got divorced, and things were just pretty dark and stuff, and I decided my senior year in high school I was going to move to LA and take improv and acting classes out there and stuff, and do stand-up comedy and everything. But my mom said that we had to wait because my grandmother was dying, and so I took care of my grandma for 9 months after high school until she died, and then I fell into a deep depression for a couple of years. I didn't do anything except stuff my face, watch movies, and write screenplays. That's all I did for 3 or 4 years. Then I got a job um, working at a Long's drugstore, and then one day I went and get my physical, and I found out my heart was in trouble because I was 350 pounds and my cholesterol was 208, and I had to lose 100 pounds or I was going to die. So I went on a diet. I had a nutritionist, and I started doing stand-up comedy at that time. And writing jokes became my new means of doing something besides eating. And I lost 130 pounds at that time, which was
That's phenomenal.
a phenomenal, yeah, phenomenal. And next thing you know, I feel like I'm king shit. I'm working as a bouncer in a bar. I got girls coming to me all the time. I'm helping promote the bar. I'm finally amounting to something in life, and because I was bullied when I was growing up, I got picked on a lot and stuff, and finally I was worth something. I felt like. Then by 2011, I became an alcoholic. I was drinking constantly and stuff, and I was hanging out with this guy that I shouldn't have. And 2012, um, found out some dark news I did not want to hear at that time. Um, my disability money had been canceled because they felt that I had quote unquote improved, which was absurd because I have permanent, Asperger's syndrome and scoliosis and all that stuff, and so we appealed twice, went to court, lost. I'll never forget the day that I got the notice. It was November 1st, 2013. I got the notice saying it was denied. That same day, my mom came home and told me she got fired from her job. And then I went out and drank that night. And while I was gone, her boyfriend confessed to her that everything we had, my trust fund, her savings, completely wiped out because he was spending it on another woman. And she beat the shit out of him. And they broke up. And so we were homeless for about a year and a half leading up to my car accident. I was crashing at people's places. My mom was staying over here at my godparents, and I couldn't get a job for like 6 months, and then I did. I worked as a security guard up until my accident, which was in January of 2015, and I spent 30 days in a coma. I had a heart attack. I broke my leg in 7 places, crushed my sternum, fractured my hand. I mean, a lot of stuff happened to me. A lot of stuff. And I woke up on my mom's birthday, and I had a hell of a recovery. I mean, it was the scariest time of my life, being in a hospital.
You have to give yourself credit for coming through all that. That means you're an exceptionally strong person because it's not easy.
Oh yeah.
Way, shape, or form, and you should be incredibly proud of that.
Oh yeah, I'm very proud of it. Every day I'm reminded of it. That I just can't believe I got through it. You know, but yeah. So I got out of the hospital the day before my birthday, and for 3 weeks I'm just sitting there in my room thinking, okay, what am I going to do now? Because I had really nothing going on besides my drinking before the accident, and I had no future. Like, what am I going to do? So I was watching this comedy special that Dennis Miller did on HBO back in the 90s, and I laughed probably the hardest I had laughed since before the accident. And I thought to myself, this is what I want to do. I want to pursue show business, comedy, all that stuff. So from August of 15 to early 16, I was dedicated to comedy. I ate, slept comedy, wrote every day, got up on stage. Everything was great. But by the time 16 rolled around, I got kind of bored of doing just stand up, and I was like, what am I going to do next? And my friend took me to a Comic Con, and that's how the convention life came to me. And I became hooked on conventions. And we went to LA for 8 days, and we happened to go to Monsterpalooza in Pasadena in 2016. And I was like, I'm gonna start writing scripts again because I was always writing horror and sci-fi scripts, from the time I was 12 all the way till I was about 23, and then I stopped, and so that's what I've been doing ever since. I've been writing my jokes, performing them, writing my scripts, doing this podcast when I moved down here to help my mom pay the rent and stuff, and it changed my perspective on life, that accident.
That's the whole thing is about looking for the blessings in the worst stuff. I was a scatterbrain. I always wanted to be an artist, but I never thought that I was. Can't draw, can't paint, can't play music,
Mm-hmm.
can't do any of the things So with my father, so I always kind of had a wild artist side, but I never really realized that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had not taken care of my father, which came out of necessity, we hadn't spoken in a very long time. And I found out that he was sick, and I started helping out, and then eventually I moved, and took care of him, and we came together, so we had all that time together. But
Yeah.
I never really had the wisdom, that you're supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
And now I see that as tragic and dark as those times were, and caring for somebody who's terminally ill is no joke, and it's really, really tough, and it just will destroy you emotionally, physically, everything. And it was very dark. But if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't have grown up, and I might not have ever gotten pregnant. So I always say that it was the greatest gift my father could have ever given me, was allowing me. I used to say that, he was lucky that he had me, but now I realize that him allowing me to care for him and go through all that darkness helped me find everything that I wanted that I was never able to attain before. I don't want much. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be on a TV show. I don't want,
Yeah.
I have a home, and I have a husband, and I have a family, a friend that is wonderful, and I have, some wonderful family, and I have all these things that I never thought I'd be able to have. And I honestly believe if I hadn't cared for my father, none of that would have ever been attainable for me. So I think that, in our darkest times, we have to look at them in certain ways as a gift.
Yeah.
Just to help us to move on,
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think, because I felt this way, do you think that from the time you were young, did you ever think to yourself, I want to do all these things, but at the same time, what if it doesn't work out for me? Then I have my father's money as a security blanket. Did you ever feel that way?
No, because I never did.
Mm-hmm.
My father died, and there was $3,000 in the bank. And I always thought that, let me go back. I always thought that there would be something, because I thought of my father as this big Hollywood guy. I mean, my dad lived as a child and growing up until I was like 20. My dad lived on the beach in Malibu. And if you go back and look at, I always say this, if you look at the movie that Blake Edwards did called SOB with all those guys, and
Yeah.
the guys who's at the beach, that was what it was like at my dad's house. It was just, so I always assumed, because I would come over to the house and James Garner would give me a Polaroid camera, or my dad was going to a party at Robert Wagner's house, and I wrote Robert Wagner a letter and said how much I loved Heart to Heart. And a week later, I got to spend a day with Robert Wagner on the Heart to Heart set. I always assumed that my dad was just like all of his, wealthy, famous friends, that there was always something there. But my father also had a problem with the fact that if he made $100, he said 300.
Wow.
So as I got older, when it started to make sense, I realized that that was never a possibility. So I knew when my father was ill, and as the time, thankfully, they made his last film when they did, because that was enough money for me to be able to pay to put him somewhere privately at the very, very end, and to finally have money to have a nurse to kind of help me from a time and, get, get him settled. But that only lasted for 2 months before he passed away. So,
Oh.
and by the time I got done paying what I could to pay off everything of my dad, there was nothing left, to a point where I had not been aware that I had signed a piece of paper in a hospital somewhere where I said that I was responsible for all of his medical bills. And because nobody tells you, when you're taking care of someone, there's not a hotline you can call, there's not a support group easily available that you can get to, where someone can give you advice on how to handle things. And I always said if I won a lot of money that I would start that, because there's no one to guide you. So someone said, do you pay the bills? And well, yes, I wrote out the check. So in my mind, I paid the bills. And I signed this piece of paper, and I became financially responsible for my father's entire debt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just finishing paying. He died in 2010, and I'm just at the tail end of that now. So while I had a fantasy life where in my head there must have been money, I never relied on it because it was never really there.
Yeah. Because that's what I did. Because when I graduated high school, I mean, I wanted to do stuff, and stuff, but I had no support from outside sources other than my mother. Because it's great when when a family has support for you, right? But you need support from other sources as well, so you can be driven to make it happen. And the problem with what I was going through was that I relied on that trust fund. I relied on that money, and it came back to bite me in the ass, obviously. And I tell anybody, if you got a trust fund or anything, don't rely on it because it could disappear like that. And that's what I did. And thank God things worked out the way it did because I see things differently now.
Absolutely, and it's what I try to tell like my friends' kids, and it's like you gotta because my mother drilled and drilled and drilled it into my head for years, but I didn't really listen to it because I've always been kind of as the song goes, I've always been kind of a cockeyed optimist. It'll work out. It'll just work out. It'll work itself out, and sometimes it doesn't, and you have to make that happen.
Hmm.
And you can't rely on anyone else. And in the current climate of the world, you never know when a bank may fail and your money may be in that bank. You never know,
Yep.
you know, you never know today. So it's
Yep.
really important to learn to be self-reliant. And if I could learn one thing, if I could have learned one thing earlier in my life, it would have been to be more self-reliant.
Hmm. Absolutely. So you said you knew Ken for 20 years before you two got together. How did you meet him?
I met Ken at a bar. I met Ken at a bar. He is the creator of the classic original Puppet Master, as well as a million other little horror movies from
Nightmare Sisters.
the movies.
Yep.
Yes, yes, that's one of them. And I met him in a bar, and I just knew that the bar it's still there. It's not the same as it used to be. It doesn't have the same owners, but there's a bar in Studio City called Residuals that I just wandered into one night when I was going through something and staying with my mom for a while, and I just wanted to get out of the house, and I knew that bar was there. So I went there, and I became a regular there, and I met Ken and a lot of other great people. I met John Bullish there, who I don't know if you know who John Bullish is, but he was an amazing, amazing FX guy.
Hmm.
Softly, he created all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
People like that were hanging out there, and John, God love him, just passed away about 2 years ago, and it still breaks my heart. And I actually was, in my pathetic way, trying to hit on John because he was a real good-looking guy, and John liked me, but John did not want to date me or, anything like that. So John turned and Ken was standing next to him and he said, "Have you met my friend Ken Hall?" And he just walked away. And that's how I met Ken. And we dated. We didn't date. We went on. Ken says it's 2 dates. I say it's 1 date. We went on a date. It went really, really badly. And we didn't really have any chemistry, but we stayed friends. And I moved on with my life and went and did other things, and he did things and started his company and did all this photo fabrication and did all the stuff he was going to do. And we stayed friends, and he found me. I can't believe I'm going to say this. He found me on MySpace, so we stayed friends through MySpace and then Facebook, and then
Hmm.
when my dad was really sick, I was writing about it, and when he had passed away, I wrote that I was going to come down I was living in Ventura where my dad had been,
Hmm.
and I was going to come down to Los Angeles for a weekend, and he said, "Please come have a drink." And I said, "I'll come have a drink with you, but don't get any ideas, because this is just two friends having a drink." And then we were together for 6 years, and we will have our second wedding anniversary on October 8th, and Ken swore up and down to me that if I had any fantasy that we would ever get married, that I could just knock that right out of my head. And here we are, married.
That's beautiful. Wow, I've never been great with romantic female relationships, only friend ones. I've never had a relationship with a girl that I was friends with first. And I grew up, I spent a lot of time with my mother and my grandmother in my early years because my dad worked graveyard shift. And so I've always gotten along better with women than guys. And yeah, it's a weird balance with me and stuff. I tell anybody though, based on the stories I've heard, don't don't date and marry somebody that you dated for like 6 months and then 6 months later you got back together again, because shit will never change. Marry somebody that you dated 20 years ago because it seems to work.
Well, I'll have to tell you, and I think my husband would agree with me. I've always been very bad at relationships, and I still am very bad at relationships. But it takes a lot of work, and I think that I'm very blessed to have found the right person when I was older.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that meet and marry. My friend, the director Kevin Kenny, and his wife Susan have been together forever, and they knew from college
Mm-hmm.
that this is what was going to happen, and it's incredible. But I think that I was just very immature and emotionally stunted, and it took me a long time to figure it out. And since we're older, Ken's going to have his big 60th birthday party in October, and I think that uh, because we're older, there's so much more to a relationship than, snuggling and watching movies and buying Valentine's Day gifts. And, it's hard work, and you have to put in the work every single day.
Of course.
I mean, I just ripped his head off the other day for something that he had absolutely nothing to do with. And God love the man, he just let me storm off and just waited until I came back, a half hour later. And, but it's work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a person that craves alone time, so it's essential to me in order to stay happy in a relationship that I have turned our guest room into a sea cave, and it's my place I go with my bathtub that no one else uses to escape. I think that if I could tell people two things about being married to make a marriage last is have a king size bed and have your own bathroom. It's essential.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to watch USA Up All Night, and movies that Ken did, and Kevin Tenney and Fred Olen Ray and David Dakota and Charlie Band and Jim Wynorski. These were like my guys in horror and sci-fi, because they made all these weird low budget horror and sci-fi movies that had lots of gratuitous tits and ass and cheesy one-liners and stuff. And that was like, something I could watch while my parents was asleep, and it influenced my screenwriting in a very big way, because I'd never seen like horror and sci-fi combined with comedy like that before.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know David Dakota very well, and Kevin, and all those guys, because those have been Ken's friends forever. And I recently, just a couple of years ago, worked with Jim Wynorski on a movie that wound up not going. We shot a trailer together, and everyone had warned me about Jim and the fact that he can get a little heated on
Yeah.
set. Have you seen the documentary about Jim called Papadopoulos? Because it's wonderful. If you haven't seen it,
Not yet. I heard it's pretty good though.
it's very good. But I have to tell you that I am such a supporter of Jim's, and I think he's so talented, and I am crazy for Jim Wynorski. I think he's just a fantastic guy.
Yeah, he loves the fact that I know every single line from Chopping Mall and Return to Swamp Thing. He knows I'm his biggest supporter.
He did a movie, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I'm sorry, Jim. And it's a vampire movie. Have you ever seen the vampire movie that he did?
Oh God, I probably did. He's done so many movies.
It's really, really great. I can't think of the name of it, but it's I think it's the best movie he's ever made. I think it's even better than Shopping Mall, and I love Shopping Mall.
Yeah.
I could watch Shopping Mall once a week if I had to.
Oh, that's what I do. I watch it at least once a week.
It's a great movie, and it's shot at the Galleria where I spent all of my teenage years.
Wow. Yeah. I went to the Galleria when I was on that 8-day trip, and it reminds me of our shopping mall in Palo Alto, Stanford Shopping Mall. It's just not the same as it was in the 80s. It's just outdoorsy, and it just doesn't look the same anymore. It's sad.
Well, unfortunately, it fell down in the earthquake.
Oh.
When we had the big Northridge earthquake, it fell down. And it's a shame because it was really a great place.
Yeah.
It was a lot of wonderful times in that mall, I will tell you. I used to hang out there with one of my first boyfriends who I absolutely, so I have very, very good memories of the Galleria. And working with that movie with Jim is where I met Monique Garrett, who's one of my dearest friends now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about reaching out to her for an interview.
She's around. You can reach out to her. She's quite busy right now. She's working on a lot, but I'm sure that she would, you could get something going with her.
Yeah. I'm so fortunate to be enamored now in the horror community and in the culture and the conventions and all that stuff. I never thought in a million years that I'd see all my heroes daily lives on social media and stuff, and talking to them and stuff. It's so amazing and so profound.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it? It's kind of fun the way life twists like that.
Yeah, it certainly is. Do you have any upcoming movie jobs that you're taking pictures for?
I do. I have some really exciting stuff coming up. Unfortunately, I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
I talk about it after the fact, but I am legally bound that I can't talk about it at this time, which is kind of a buzzkill because it's very exciting. But I haven't been working so much in photography because I took a little break, and we had a major flood and renovation of our house. It's actually a leak again, which is a nightmare. But so I kind of got caught up in that, and then I wanted to take up a hobby to relax because I have a very bad problem with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started making soap, and I make horror-themed novelty soaps, and they've kind of taken off. So I spent the summer creating and selling bloody brain bar soaps and poison apples and bloody cupcakes and all these soaps. But I am going back to work in the fall.
Oh, that's good.
Obviously.
Wow.
Um,
Horror themed recipes. Have you met Casey Hansen?
I know Casey Hansen. I love Casey Hansen. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Casey at Santa Monica.
Yeah, she's supposed to do an interview with me soon. I'm looking forward to that. I, I came up with some funny names for horror themed recipes that are not real, but I want to see if she'll laugh at them when I have her on.
Her twin cheese chocolate cherry pie is one of the best pies I've ever made.
Really?
I absolutely love it. And every time I make it, I keep forgetting to take a picture of it to send it to her. But you never send me pictures. So I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. So I'm actually very much looking forward to seeing her. And if I can put in a plug for my soap, you can find it. I don't have a website for it because I don't do too much shipping, but you can find me on Facebook at the Bubble Broad, and you can find my soap if you're in the LA area. It's carried at Dark Delicacies in Burbank.
Oh, what's the status of that? There's a rumor going down that Dark Delicacies is going to be closed down or something.
Well, I'm very close with Del and Sue over at Dark Delicacies, and I don't want to speak for them,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that they probably are going to working on a project with them right now that I can't really talk about, but
Yeah.
they're going to be, the problem is that area of Burbank, Magnolia Park, is such a wonderful area, and you have, there's delicacies there, and Halloween Town there, and you have Spirited Lady, and Creature Features is there, and Pin-Up Girl Clothing, and all these amazing vintage stores, and, mom and pop places, and it's become so popular that now the landlords are all trying to raise the rent to astronomical amounts.
Yeah.
It's like Melrose in the 80s all over again is what's happening there. And, there comes a point where you just can't afford the rent anymore. And it's a battle that all the stores are having. I mean, we lost Creature Features a few months ago there, and
Yeah.
we lost the Pin-Up Girl store in June. Gigi T's, we're going to lose Gigi T's. So it's, it's sad. They set up a group that you can find a video, which is actually, if you haven't seen it, a great video set. Joe Dante's in it, and a bunch of people are in it, that you can find at SaveMagnoliaPark.com.
Wow.
That's all about what's happening in that area, and it's very, very sad because if you're into horror or sci-fi or movie memorabilia or vintage or anything, you can go there and you can walk up and down those streets and you'll find people that are just like you, and you'll find a million amazing things to look at. And, the last Friday of every month, you bring in all these food trucks, and it's really a fabulous place, and we're going to lose it. And we're going to lose, I look at Dark Delicacies as more than a book or a gift store. It's a clubhouse.
Yeah.
You can go and see your friends, and there's always something exciting going on. Linnea Quigley was just in town a couple of weeks ago, and Ken and Linnea did a signing there for the horror workout. And it's just a really great place, and all that stuff is in jeopardy because of greed.
I know. I'm so sad about it. I
It's a shame.
I went the same day the same day I saw you at Son of Monster Palooza. I went there for a signing. Mark Patton from Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was there doing a signing and stuff. He hit on me. He told me I was handsome. I was so flattered by that, I'll tell you. And yeah, and Felissa Rose was there too. She's a good friend of mine. And yeah, I mean, it's just I hope maybe they can find maybe another location, to put it in or something because those sightings are fun over there.
It's great, and you can always, I've been spending a lot more time there recently because I'm working with them on some stuff because they carry my products, and I'll go in and sit down with Sue and show her, what new I'm making with my soap, and, she kind of helps me figure out what's going to sell, what won't sell, how that goes. And it's like, I never go in there, and I'm there for maybe an hour, 2 hours. Never a time goes by that I'm not in that store when I don't run into somebody that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that. I always say it's like clubhouse there, and I love it there, and
Yeah.
I have great memories there. And some of that, as a matter of fact, those delicacies is where Ken really started to introduce me to his friends for the first time. He took me to signings there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I remember one time, growing up, I wasn't really allowed to watch horror movies. My mother wasn't anti-horror movie. I was just raised in more of a Neil Simon type situation. I saw a lot of Neil Simon movies growing up.
Oh.
And so I was absolutely terrified. I remember seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time, the original.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I watched it with a boy when I was like 14 because I wanted to be cool, and I literally remember being physically sick to my stomach and nauseated by the movie. It was just locked right into horror with. And Ken said to me one day, Ken was good friends with Gunnar Hansen, and
Mm-hmm.
Ken said to me, we're going to Gunnar signing his book. And so we went down and we saw Gunnar, and we all went out to Mexican food after, and I sat next to Gunnar while Gunnar told me
Yeah.
we're in danger of losing all of that.
Yep. I actually had Bob Elmore, who played Leatherface in the second Chainsaw Massacre, on the show yesterday. He never got to meet Gunner, and it's one of his biggest regrets. But yeah, he respected Gunner immensely too, and stuff.
He was a great guy and a very, very kind guy, and I am saddened that I didn't get to spend more time with him. I occasionally saw him at conventions. If he was at a convention that Ken was at, they would carve out time to have breakfast together and, stuff like that. And he was just so sweet and wonderful. And I'm really excited because my friend Michael Palio is working on a documentary right now called My Dinner with Gunner, or Dinner with Gunner. I can't remember what the exact name of it is. It's all a documentary about Gunner and people talking about Gunner and meals that they had with Gunner because Gunner loves to eat.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Wow, I gotta check that out too.
I believe there's a trailer for that online.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So that's coming out. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm hoping in the next year, maybe two, to possibly direct a short film to put in some festivals. And it's a black comedy, and it's a commentary on the horror movie scene. So I've had it sitting for a while, but I decided that I've spent so much time around directors, and so many of my really good friends are directors. My best friend Sammy Sutton is a great director. She did Killjoy 2, Isle of Dogs. She did some really great films, and so not the animated Isle of Dogs, the British film. So I decided that I should try it, and I had actually asked her if she would consider directing it for me, and she said, absolutely not, you're going to do it yourself. So that's my big goal for the next year and a half.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me know if you need people to be interviewed and stuff. I'll be happy to do it. I'll be right there.
I will definitely keep you posted when I know what's going on with it.
Yeah. What are your favorite Neil Simon movies?
Well, that's a tough call. This is a favorite of any movie ever, but I think that I absolutely love California Suite.
Yeah.
Which is you never see anywhere, and I adore California Suite. I adore Same Time Next Year.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorites. And then there's, oh God, I hope I'm not wrong and it's not him, it's someone else who did it, but I don't think it is. They did a couple of the Goldie Hawn Chevy Chase movies.
Yes.
Seems like Old Times.
Seems Like Old Times is my favorite Neil Simon movie because it's just so nutty, so absurd, and Chevy Chase plays a really sympathetic character in the movie that he usually never does. He always plays the smartass or the buffoon, but he actually plays like a real character in this movie.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, it's kind of up there with kind of like What's New Pussycat and stuff like that, where it's a little bit of a throwback.
Yeah.
Like the screwball comedies of the 1940s, and stuff like that. And it has a little bit, not that it's nearly the same, but it kind of almost reminds me of the Thin Man movies a little bit. And it's a really great movie. If people haven't seen it, they should see it because it's wonderful. And I mean, I think I worked for Neil Simon's brother as his personal assistant for a while, hoping that would kind of rub off on me, but it wasn't. He didn't quite have the same wit of his brother. But I think that Neil Simon movies are very dry, and I'm and funny as hell, but can be incredibly dry. And I find those, that I'm really drawn to those, and I think I can't really decide. Between California, I would probably say Same Time Next Year might be my favorite Neil Simon movie, but I've always been madly in love with Alan Alda, so that could also play into that.
Yeah, my other favorites are The Odd Couple, of course. The Sunshine Boys, love that. Um, what's that one? Oh, The Goodbye Girl. I tried to
Well,
get
the Goodbye Girl, so great.
yeah, I tried to get an interview with the little girl, Quinn Cummings. She was very rude to me, I'll tell you. Um, and Biloxi Blues. Oh my God, there's a line in that one. I quote it all the time because I actually believe in it. When you start compromising your thoughts, you're a candidate for mediocrity. I believe in that.
Absolutely.
I believe in that
Absolutely. It's totally true.
as a writer and anything in life. you know?
Yeah, and those were the kind of films that I grew up on, and I think that it really, I have a joke that because my mother wouldn't let me watch a lot of porn, it's not, again, it's not that she wouldn't let me, it just wasn't a part of my life, and so she raised me on Neil Simon and romantic comedies and, all this kind of stuff, but, my mom used to take me to the DGA to
hmm
see all these movies when I was growing up and stuff, and so I always said, that, they told you not to let your kids watch horror because it was bad and it gives them bad dreams and it would turn them into murderers and all these horrible things would happen. And I said, instead, I spent 45 years of my life waiting for a guy to show up on a white horse and swoop me up and put an umbrella in my head and profess his undying love to me in the rain. It's like,
Yeah.
that's just as bad for someone's psyche as, watching Child's Play.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I think an even balance, now that I'm older, I think an even balance is better. And my husband kind of gets irritated with me sometimes because, he's a huge Hammer fan and he's into all this, European horror and stuff. And sometimes I just have to say to him, I can't do it. I can't do it. It freaks me out. Like the movie Listomania freaks me out. Then Zone 2 freaks me out. And so sometimes I have to just draw the line, and I think he gets upset because he likes to open my mind a little bit more. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Oh, that's good. Is he into Andy Warhol's horror movies?
Not that I've ever seen him mention. I don't think we've ever even watched an Andy Warhol movie. I think he's more, anything Hammer, anything, the Mask of the Red Death, all that kind of stuff. Blood and Black Lace, so the Argento and Bava and all that kind of stuff he just, really, really loves. And it's
Yeah.
definitely in our house, it's more older horror than it is newer horror. Because I find that some of the newer horror is just too much for me. It's, I don't want to watch the torture porn. It's just, it doesn't, I don't, I recently watched, I can't think of the movie now. Um, oh God, what's the movie? What's the original Victor Crowley movie?
Oh God. The Conjuring?
Hatchet. I recently watched Hatchet, and I was
Okay.
hesitant to watch Hatchet because I thought it was going to be, something like First Crap or something, and it actually was such an enjoyable movie to me because it was a throwback to the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and I love Kane Hodder so much, and several of my friends are in that, and I love horror that's enjoyable. I don't want to watch something that's going to give me nightmares.
Yeah. I have this script that I wrote that I'm trying to pitch around and get made and stuff. It's a homage to the supernatural slasher movies of the '80s. It's called The Summer of Trespass. It's about this lesbian Catholic schoolgirl who moves into an apartment complex that's being haunted by her imaginary friend from childhood. And he used to be a security guard at that apartment complex several years before, and he was murdered by some trespassing teenagers. And how I got the idea for this was I lived in an apartment complex where there was a lot of teenagers trespassing in the swimming pool and the sauna room and stuff, and they were just rude and just obnoxious and stuff. And I was like, I've been trying to think of a good angle for a supernatural slasher movie for a while. I was like, here's some material right here, and so I turned it into a script, and I think it's the best script I've ever written.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. You just got to keep on trying because it's really hard to do, but, you got to keep on trying. You can't give up.
Nope, I'm never gonna give up. I'm gonna keep on trying until I make my dream happen.
Well, that's great.
Okay, so I told you I would tell you some jokes. So let me think of some. Um, I told this one on the show many times. It always gets a huge laugh. It's a joke Eddie Murphy said once. Um, a bear and a rabbit are taking a shit in the woods. A bear says to the rabbit, "Excuse me, sir. Do you have a problem with shit sticking to your fur?" The rabbit says, "No." So the bear wiped his ass with the rabbit.
That's very funny.
And then the rabbit died from the stink.
That's very, very funny.
Thank you. Let's see what else. Um, oh, this one is so wrong, and this does not reflect my beliefs at all. But it's pretty damn funny. But it's so wrong. Two pedophiles are sitting on a park bench, and this 12-year-old girl walks by, and the first pedophile says, "Hey, will you look at that one?" And the second pedophile says, "Yeah, she must have been something in her day."
Oh, my God, that's terrible.
Yeah,
That's absolutely terrible, but funny.
yes. I'm sure growing up in the Hollywood atmosphere, I'm sure you knew a lot of men who were secretly pedophiles, right?
Not really. Not that I'm aware of.
That's good.
I certainly knew men that took advantage of people. I still know men that haven't wised up, that are still trying to take advantage of women. But,
Hmm.
every director has his day, I suppose. But, I never had that problem too much growing up. But later in my 20s a little bit. But, hopefully everybody's going to wise up that that doesn't fly anymore.
Yeah, I mean, my parents brought me up to respect women, and that's exactly what I do. I'm a real gentleman with women. When I meet them, I take them by the hand and kiss it, and stuff like that, because that's just who I am, And you know, um, I mean, I may tell dirty jokes, especially in my stand-up act and everything, but like they're just jokes, and I don't mean anything I say and stuff. And I'm it's a weird balancing act for me, I'm a pig on stage, a gentleman off stage, but that's who I am.
Well, personally, I know several comedians that are like that. I mean, if you want a perfect example of somebody that's like that, you look at Howard Stern.
Right?
Howard Stern can be a total pig, but he is one of the kindest men ever.
Mm-hmm.
If you know him personally. So I think that there's a problem. I don't really like to talk about this, but I think it's a problem a lot of the time with men and self-confidence that when they find themselves in a position of power,
Yeah.
after possibly spending a lot of their lives without power,
Mm-hmm.
that it makes them feel
Yeah.
entitled. And that sense of entitlement gives them more power. And I think that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, it's just like guys who grow up being bullied, and then when they become police officers, they feel entitled to be a bully back, and they abuse their power as a police officer.
Absolutely. Same thing. And I think that people are learning their lesson now, and I think it's gonna, make a difference, but we'll see. Only time will tell. It's one of those things. Much like the Mueller investigation. Only time will tell.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. Well, Amanda, you are an amazing person, and I'm glad that we got to do this today. And I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I hope you continue being happy and fulfilled. And you're a credit to the Jewish people, I have to say.
Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you soon and seeing you at a convention soon.
Absolutely. I sent you a friend request on Facebook, too.
Okay, well, I'll definitely add you.
That'd be great.
I only add people that I know, so I will definitely add you.
Well, now you know me, and I can tag you in this when I upload it in a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Tommy, and I will definitely be talking to you soon.
Awesome. Awesome. Tell Ken I said hi, and have a great day.
I will. You too, Tommy.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it. Amanda Duchow-Hall. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Amanda. That was a very sweet conversation about the the dark side of Hollywood and the light side as well, and the horror community and all that stuff. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we got to do this and have this conversation. You are an amazing lady. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.